I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. You just started the recording. You can't really say that it's in progress if you've just started it. Let's see. Chris is here. Margie, I don't think I've seen you for a while, Margie. Hi, Karen. Hi, Carol. Did you find any Allegheny spurge, Carol? The Pachysandra procumbens? If you're looking for stuff that's from Michigan, I think that's probably the problem. Our native people are kind of working more local than that. So the last time that I got it, when I got it by mail, I got it from Gardens of the Blue Ridge, I think. Um, I wish I could tell you that I know where there's a big patch of it that we can go divide from there, but I only had a few places where I put it in, and it's pretty slow to get going. It's not like the Asian Pachysandra. Well, it was a race this week. I think you'll probably see a race that good. Marion's here too. Um, it was a race of things that were unexpected all week. You ever had one of those weeks where everything you're running around doing are things that were not on the schedule, and yet the schedule still has to be kept too. There was one day when I came home from wherever it was that I was and told Steve, if one more thing comes up, I'm going to scream. And Steve's, I don't remember even what he said, but it was the one more thing. I went, no, not from you, not from you. There he is. I bet you were going to wear your hat.
Oh,
He did have a hat on, but there's a particular hat he was going to wear today in honor of the calendar. He's leaving a bit early today because he's got an appointment. He's getting himself ready for it.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Say I'm not wearing a hat, but I'm deeply inside of my hooded sweatshirt because I had forgotten how cold it is to sit in front of this window when it is very cold. We got more snow last night. We are approaching 8 inches on the ground.
ah, darn. I am sorry you're ahead of us again.
I mean, it's nice. It's very, very pretty. We're still due for
Yeah.
a lot of rain and warm on Monday, which I think is going to be a little ugly.
Well, it's already ugly here. We got an inch and a half, 2 inches, and tiny bits of flurries afterwards. So it all became dirty. Um,
Oh,
and I hate that disturbs me when it gets to be dirty snow everywhere. Um,
well, but
but
I definitely shouldn't complain because it's gorgeous here.
But I was in full long johns yesterday. Today, I thought, I don't think I need them today. But I walked out of here last night. I'd been working in the office and walked out into the rest of the house. And I actually checked all the windows because it felt like cold air was blowing through the house from somewhere. So I guess my office is a little bastion of warmth in the wintertime. I don't think there's a bastion of warmth anywhere in your house. You guys keep your house
No,
cool.
we my this is actually pertinent to today's episode. I was at the nursery that has tropicals and has some Venus flytraps, and my friend, her middle son, wants a Venus flytrap for Christmas. And I was driving past this nursery, and I said, "Well, why don't I just stop in and get them?" And then, of course, I got into it, and I got a little, you know, container to hold them all in, and some rocks and some moss to make it look,
Yeah.
cool because they just come in those silly little pots. And I said, all right, well, I'll just keep them in my house because then you don't have to hide them until Christmas. And I'm kind of looking around the house going, where are you poor little babies going to be happy? We keep our house at about 62 degrees or so.
And
So
they're going to be dormant rather than growing, but they should be okay.
yeah,
Uh,
I tented them with a little bit of clear plastic as though they were seedlings, just to kind of hold some moisture and heat in a bit. But
yeah, your brother really wanted carnivorous plants when we put the pond in. We have that wet area. They they've required too much watching to not be grown over by everything. And they are plants that grow where other plants can't grow well. They get their nitrogen from animal sources, from insects, because there's not enough nitrogen for other things. And in a normal garden or on your front shelf there's a riot of growing going on. Shade out those poor little Venus flytraps. What did I just read about them? In the I think it was in the book that we've been talking about. Gretchen, if you're here, you had recommended light eaters, and we've been talking about light eaters because I ordered it, and someone had also heard about it and ordered it for me. I ended up with 2 copies of it. So there's a book circulating around. Mine is gone circulating too, but I think it was in Light Eaters, and they're talking, describing how the Venus flytrap, how the plant can sense whether it is just a grain of sand that got kicked onto its leaf, or if it's something moving, it actually has to move a couple of times. It doesn't just grab the first thing that moves. So it's actually recording or expecting particular movement from a fly or a dragonfly or a bee or whatever lands on it. So it'd be interesting to see if it catches anything at your house.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I thought I'm going to tent it with plastic, and then I thought, well, no, he needs. So I put some scissor holes in the side to see what wanders in.
I also read that a leaf is only good for one insect, that when it opens up again, it needs to grow a new leaf. So it has to be in pretty good growth to do that. Now, I've forgotten names. I wanted to ask Antoinette about names because you have names. We had names for a couple of our plants. Remember, Bubby was the Monstera. I can't remember if we had names for others of them, but I know Sonia has names. Who is Kang? Is Kang the Jade?
Okay. We have Ming. We have Ming the Jade and
Ming
Ming's
the Jade.
progeny.
I tend to think of it as Kang the Conqueror instead of Ming.
And we have Trogdor, the corn palm, the Dracaena, and Trogdora, the more delicate, what more
The
delicate
thin,
Dracaena.
the thinner leaf. Do we see in the light?
Thinner leaf with the variegation. Yep.
Yeah, they call
And we
that
have
dragon palm.
and we have Hector, the rubber plant, because Hector is a Trojan and it's a rubber plant. I mean,
Oh, that's bad. I don't think I knew. I didn't know Trojan for sure, for Hector for sure, and I didn't know that there was a lady, dragon lady.
Oh,
Yeah, you
I think those are the only ones that have names.
Oh, okay, so they don't all have names.
No, and especially that would be if I can focus my energy on not killing the named ones, then I don't feel quite so bad about, killing the other ones.
Okay. Did you change the screen or did I change the screen?
I
Sure.
think you changed the screen because I sure did.
Look at that croton. That is like a black croton. I wonder whether it'll use turn black as they age. I mean,
They do seem a little green on the top. Look.
yeah. The new foliage is green. Maybe it's in more light or whatever, but that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Speaking of pretty cool, Jean is noting your hat, Stephen, and saying how cool it looks in
Yeah.
your beard.
Well, thank you. I
There we
think.
go. I think we still got time. I think it's only 25 after.
Yeah.
I was taking out the fall pictures, but I just couldn't bear to take out the paper bark maple. It's such great bark. I mean, just look at that.
And much bigger than the little dinky tree you think you're gonna have
Yeah.
over time. Spreading ginkgo.
I almost stopped and tried to look up how long ago it was that we took this picture. I'm wondering how old these kids are now. And I decided I don't really want to know.
The kids are in their 20s.
Yeah. Not kids anymore.
Mhm.
I am sorry that the notes didn't get posted until about 5 o'clock this morning. They were some of the unexpected things happening this week. I had such great plans for this chart. And at the very end of the process, when I went to turn it into a PDF, it fell apart.
It didn't work.
And I had to redo some things in order to make it work at a lesser level. Darn it. But it's there now, and you get your choice for those of you who are there now. And Sonia, I should explain to you, I have the chart up 3 ways. This one is in alphabetical order by common name, but I also sorted it so that it's in alphabetical order by scientific name, which is how I prefer to use it. And I sorted it to put all the averages together, average difficulty, easy difficulty, difficult together. So there's 3 choices people can make. It's the same chart in all cases, but there's three
Different
links.
arrangements.
Yeah, 3 different links. Everybody here looks like someone who's been here before, so they know to keep things muted unless you raise your hand and get in line. Hi, Ann, glad you're here. So if you raise your hand, then we'll know to let you turn your microphone on, or else just go ahead and chat. Soil and planted plants. Michigan Beekeepers Association. Do you think that's probably Michelle?
Yes.
I suppose it could be Jenny. We were not planning on speaking in depth about soil for indoor plants because we did do we're going to do a review of basics, but we already did a basic indoor plants. We wanted to go beyond into what's going on now with plants. So we can talk a little bit about it. Your soil gets rock hard. Are you growing in terracotta pots or in glazed pots? Because it might
Make a
be
difference.
it might make a difference, and it might be a combination of the pot and whether your water is hard or soft. But it shouldn't be rock hard.
They're terracotta pots that have been glazed on the outside.
Okay, so they're not breathing well. You might want to switch to terracotta pots all the way through. You can use a catch pot around them that's big enough to let air circulate around there. But given in Michigan anyway, most of Southeast Michigan has a lot of dissolved calcium and other salts in the water, and that clogs up the pores and also clogs up the pores of the soil. But then we use a lot of bark in our stuff too, and so I probably can't help you there. Why does it get rock hard? When have we had one?
Did you use Michelle? You use the cactus succulent soil, like a different soil mix in there? Because I'm wondering if maybe that would
I'm
have
pretty
less
sure
of the
that-
bark.
Yeah, I'm thinking that in years ago when I replanted them, I probably used just plant soil that was, for indoor plants in general. So, I mean, I could repot them, but I don't seem to have really good luck after they've been repotted.
Especially not
Or
with
jades
jade.
too. Yeah.
Especially not with jade. They like to be root bound. I always for the jade, and boy, it's been a long time since the Christmas cactus, but I think for the Christmas cactus, I did the same. I always used about half sharp sand. I remember the one time that I decided to repot the jade and didn't have any sharp sand. I had problems. I pretty much within a month took it out of the bigger pot. I put it in, rinsed off all of the new soil, and put it back into the small pot with just its sand in it. It's heavy enough to help hold it up. What is your jade growing in, Sonia? Because yours is pretty big now.
So I made the mistake. I early on, as it was going great gangbusters, I just repotted it with kind of all the repottings, and I think didn't enjoy that, and I put in too big a pot, and I made the mistake. So you actually had me add some more sand to it, and I've moved it. It was in a plastic, one of those like plastic drainage pots for indoors. And I've moved it into a terracotta now. You can see it in the picture on my profile there. It's got a really nice hefty trunk, but the canopy is not what once it was or what it should be. And so we're still working at it.
Yeah, what I figured happened to mine when I repotted it was that when you put extra soil around the outside, especially if it's in a not prime growing season, then that extra soil holds more water than the root bound stuff in the middle. And you end up with the root tips, the only growing parts of the jade, the root tips in soil that's too moist, and they start setting themselves up for root rot. And it can take a long time for them to shed the bad roots and grow new ones. I mean, they live forever, jades. I'm sorry, we don't have our jade anymore.
Yeah.
That was a great plant.
We are at 8:30, but I'll also say as maybe an envoy to today's topic. It's one of the reasons why we have Sons of Ming, that, we've taken cuttings and we have now some pretty large offsprings of Ming. So that should this relatively precious and longstanding plant for us ever not make it, we still have his lineage. And I think that's one of the nice things about houseplant.
Yeah, it is. That's what we did with Bubby. Was it Maggie? Or was it one of her puppies that chewed Bubby in the first place?
Yeah.
Chewed this plant that I'd had forever. It was the first plant I had. I think I stole it from somebody. And it was just a monstera, but it was our special plant. And so we grew it back again. So we actually had son of Bubby and grandson of Bubby because something else happened to them. But yeah, same one over the years.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Gretchen. I think we talked about your begonia in one of the Friday sessions rather than waiting to make sure that you were there. I think that is earwigs in your begonia, just from the pattern of damage. They do chew in the middle as well as along the edges. It's possible that you have a weevil that got in, but they don't chew holes in the middle of leaves. I've got a insect and a plant issue to talk about today. So that I will not say to you, take a look and see if you can find if there's any beetle crawling around in there, because it could be a beetle, but it's even on a one-leaf plant, they can hide. They can disappear into the folds of a leaf, into the corners of the edge of the pot, between the pot and the soil.
Janet, did you suggest a way to, okay, is an earwig infestation all that bad? And how would I look for it?
If it's an earwig infestation, you must have something moist nearby because they die in the dry. If they're in a dry area for a day, they're going to dry right out and die. So it would only be the earwigs might be living in the drainage pot underneath one of the plants, or if you've got a window that condenses in the cold and there's some water sitting in a corner someplace. But you'd find them at night. You'd find them by going at night in the dark and using a flashlight, looking to see if they're on the plant. Are there more? Have there been more holes developing since you first saw them? The ones that you sent us?
I hate to say it, but I didn't even look. Still, it's kind of at the back. It's doing okay. And I'm not big on taking out bugs anyway. So thank you.
Shouldn't be a huge problem. Should not be. Okay.